Hey everyone, it's Jared from acousticnature.com, and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Sounds. Good morning everyone. I had a beautiful night's sleep last night in the hammock. It was pretty warm, so I kept the just the mosquito net on because there were a lot of mosquitoes, but I kept the other cover off. No rain, so I didn't have the tarp up, and it was so peaceful, minus country music and three guys talking until about 11 o'clock. So I'm prepared to stay another night here, and I'm hoping that they aren't, so that I can capture the sound of the evening here, which was so nice last night. It was mainly gray tree frogs, some dying birds, not actually dying, but some quiet occasional bird sounds, green frogs, and then the occasional bullfrog as well, mixed in with some owls and plenty of jumping fish. So I know I didn't get that noise pollution free last night because those guys, by the time they went to bed, so had most of the wildlife. So yeah, I'm gonna spend the day exploring around the lake, hopefully find some more cool spots. Maybe the wind will kick back up again and I'll get some wind recordings. But for now, it's breakfast time. All right, everyone, it is day 2, mid-afternoon. It's about 4 o'clock, and I just recently set up my microphone here in this little clearing to record some wind sounds because the winds kicked up this afternoon and was making a really nice sound. A lot of natural comb filtering going on here with all of the spruce that is here. And I just wanted to pass a quick tip on to you guys for the next time you're going out to record some wind, and that is to put your microphones in a spot that's calm. And the way you do that is you spend some time watching the foliage in your landscape, observing how it's moving, how much it's moving, and look for spots that aren't moving that much. So these shorter baby trees down in the understory, I was watching them and I saw that they weren't being blown around by the wind that much, even though we were getting some pretty high gusts. So I set my mic up in this area, and because this area is not really being buffeted, you can get a more natural sounding, more pleasing wind. You know, it won't sound as aggressive, and it will sound more natural to how we actually hear a soundscape. So next time you're going out to record some wind, be sure to bring this tip with you and let me know how it works out. All right, I'd like to show you all this now because it's going to be too dark later when it comes time. And that is a fire. And I briefly just want to talk about how to go about building a fire for recording purposes. And the main difference in recording a fire versus having a normal fire is that with a normal fire, you can have all of your wood stacked to the side, and you can progressively add larger and larger logs as the fire gets bigger and bigger. For me personally, I don't like having that sound of the human interaction of feeding the fire. I prefer a fire from start to finish with no interruptions, and just if there's any natural wood movement, great, that's totally fine. So that's what I go for with these fires that I build. And the way that I build them is I'll flip the camera around to show you a little bit better. So the way that I build them is I make a bunch of kindling, mainly just making wood shavings with my knife. And I make a big old pile of them and I stick them at the bottom. And then I add little tiny twigs and just I stack them kind of in a teepee all the way up to the largest logs that I'll be burning. This one's about as big as my wrist. And yeah, so this is a bottom up fire. So I just reach in with my lighter, light it, and it goes up without a hitch and burns to completion. So just a little tip on building a fire for recording. The stage is set for a perfect fire. It's been about an hour since the last plane that I've heard. The tree frogs are croaking. I have my microphone in position to capture the frogs and the fire. Got my lighter ready. And hopefully this is a clean burn from start to finish. I'll let you listen. Good morning, everyone. I had a really nice sleep last night. It was incredibly quiet here last night, although I did mispredict the airplanes. There were a few later planes yesterday than last night, or 2 nights ago. There were about 3 that happened after 10:30, and the latest plane 2 nights ago was just about 9 o'clock. So a little bit additional traffic, maybe some people coming home late from a long weekend vacation. I'm not sure, but either way, after those last planes around 11 o'clock, the tree frogs stopped calling, and it was so quiet here on Flat Mountain Pond. So the forecast that I looked at 3 days ago predicted rain this morning, this afternoon, and tonight, getting progressively heavier. So my goal is to pack down camp and be down at my car before the rain starts. So I'm going to start doing that now, and that will just about do it for this trip. Thank you so much for joining me here at Flat Mountain Pond. I hope you've been inspired to do a trip of your own. I'll see you in the next one.